I'm Erin Palmer, a Ward 4 Advisory Neighborhood Commissioner and Team Rayceen Productions co-host and moderator.
Hello, I'm Monique Diop, outgoing four-term Ward 8 A.N.C Commissioner, representing single member 8D04, and Team Rayceen Productions co-host and moderator. Also with us is former Ward 5 Commissioner and forever Goddess of DC, Rayceen Pendarvis.
Greetings and salutations, all.
Please welcome our guest, the youngest of DC's newly elected officials, Quentin Colón Roosevelt. Hi, Quentin.
Hi, Erin.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, thanks for joining us, Quentin. And tell us a little bit about yourself and your background and experience.
Yeah, so I'm 18 years old. I live in Spring Valley, this neighborhood in upper Northwest DC, near American University, about 4 blocks away from that. I've lived in DC all 18 years of my life. I went to Horace Mann, which is my local elementary school. I went to Basis DC, a public charter school, for a while. I worked on a couple of campaigns this primary cycle. I volunteered for this amazing woman who ran for council chair named Erin Palmer. She was really cool. Then I worked for Trisha Duncan, and when we dropped out, I began working for Matthew Freeman. We dropped out about a week before the primary. And there were a lot of issues during that race that really struck me, especially issues on schools. There's a new high school that's supposed to be built in Ward 3 on MacArthur Boulevard at the old GDS campus. And there was a lot of divisiveness in the race over whether that school should really be built. And a lot of people living in that neighborhood who don't want the increased traffic or don't want the kids being around there. And I wanted to make sure that someone who was on the A.N.C was going to support that school and make sure that we increased transportation options, increased options for kids to have fun around there, and just made sure that we had a new high school. Wilson's overcrowded, and we had a school where kids could go to and kids could get to safely and quickly as possible. It's still in a rather inaccessible part of DC, unfortunately, but I want to make sure we have a new school here. It's really important to me.
So, Quentin, you're a high schooler, and I'm not convinced that it's in every high schooler's mind to run for A.N.C, which is a volunteer gig. It's something you do on the side of everything else that you're doing. So what motivated you to run, and what put this in your head that as a high schooler you could do this?
Well, I saw another high school run for DC City Council in February named Henry Cohen. He ran for the Ward 3 seat. I was very impressed by him and going to all the debates and watching him talk. And I thought, hey, if he could do it, why not me? I decided to start at a slightly lower level. And I knew a lot of amazing ANCs like Erin and like James Tanderick, and Matt Fruman was an ANC for about a decade in Ward 3. And I thought, if I wanted to really get involved and really help my community, why not start right here at the most local level? And you get to control traffic and small business regulations. I really love where I live, and I want to make sure that more people can get to where I live, and maybe more people can live where I live, and we support our small businesses, and we have better bus lanes and bike lanes and all of that. I really love Spring Valley, and I want to make sure it's safe for everyone to live in. And I think this could be the best opportunity for me to make that change in our neighborhood.
All those things sound wonderful for incoming A.N.C. I am so impressed with you, and thank you for running and serving your community. So how was your campaign? I know that you helped other people, but for you specifically, were you unopposed, or did you have someone that was running against you? How was your campaign this year?
So for the majority of it, I was unopposed. There was there was a former A.N.C who had thought about running, and then we had decided to withdraw from the race. And so I was unopposed for a majority, but I still decided that, I want to get out there and I want to meet people. So I did a lot of door knocking. I had signs, which was really awesome to see my signs next to everyone else's signs, next to Matt's signs and Michael's signs and all of those amazing people. And, I put a lot of signs up right by my high school. That was where I was on election day, asking people to vote for Matt Fruman and Michael Streaky. And I got to meet a lot of amazing people in my neighborhood. I think I was very scared at first, and I still get scared, definitely knocking on doors and talking to people, and you get some bad reactions, but you also get some amazing people who, invite me into their house, and we talk for an hour about bike lanes and the new school and how their kids can function in the neighborhood. And it was just a really amazing experience all around, and it was really fun and definitely really eye-opening.
Did you get a lot of people from your high school to vote for you? The ones that could for 18?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, there aren't many people from who have gone to school with who live in my neighborhood. There are a lot of people from elementary school, because I ended up going to high school in downtown DC. So as a charter school, it drew very few people from around where I live. I think actually the only person who went to Basis with me who lives around here, is Trisha Duncan's son, Christopher. And so we've been best friends for a while. But other than him, and he doesn't live in my district, but the only kids from my, school experience who live in my district went to my elementary school. And even then, there are not that many kids who are still here. A lot of people are off to college or something like that.
Yes, that's interesting.
Quentin, what are you looking forward to working on as an advisory neighborhood commissioner?
I really want to, so again, like the MacArthur High School is the biggest thing for me. And it's not in the most accessible place in DC. And it's amazing that we have a new high school. And it's amazing that we have a building, and they reserve 50% of the seats for out-of-boundary kids. And I want to make sure that out-of-boundary kids can come to this high school, which I bet will be amazing. Any school in this area has all these amenities and all these PTA organizations that are really well funded, and it'll be a great school. I want to make sure that these kids who are coming from, I have a lot of friends who commute to Wilson from or Jackson Reed now from Capitol Hill, and it takes them like an hour and a half every day. And I think that's just sort of insane. So I would love to work on, maybe bus lanes on MacArthur Boulevard, or maybe a bus going. I know that Rosslyn is the closest metro station. So if we could somehow get a bus coming from Rosslyn to MacArthur Boulevard, that would be amazing. I want to make sure that, this school is really ready to go. We're supposed to open fall of next year. I think they're already looking at a principal. They haven't figured out a name. I'm just calling it MacArthur High School for now, but I really want to make sure. That's the thing I'm mostly looking forward to. I really want to make sure that the school sort of flourishes.
Awesome.
Rayceen, do you have any questions for Quentin?
I do. I'm so excited to see Quentin. It's 18 years old. I'm thinking, man, you should be getting ready for your prom. You should be excited about graduating. And here you are, concerned about your community and concerned about your neighbors and fighting just to make a difference. I am in awe of you. And it's such an honor to just see such a light in a young person such as yourself. Yes. And it lets us know that all the work that the three of us have done and have been doing to see this is what we work for and what we do to instill into the next generation. But how do you get your peers, how do you get them so hyped up as you are? How do you talk to them about getting involved? How do you ramp them up the way you are ramped up?
I mean, it's very hard to, especially living in DC. I mean, I think a lot of people here understand they don't have any voice in Congress. They don't have any national representation. We have Eleanor Holmes Norton who can vote in committee, and she's amazing. And she's an amazing advocate for us, but she can't vote on the floor of the House. And it's sort of hard to imagine kids living where I live or living in DC at large being hyped up about politics or anything like that when they feel like they can't really make a difference in any way. And so I think the best thing to do would be to get them involved at the local level. And it's really important that we have kids who, I volunteered for Erin's campaign and it was so amazing. And I volunteered for Initiative 82 and it was amazing. And I got to, really get involved in politics in a way that most kids who live here don't really think about, because you see all this exclusion of us at the national level.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a picture of me and Quentin. Quentin, I wanted to ask if you plan to, and how you plan to work with young people across DC in terms of engaging them in what you're doing at a local level.
Yeah, so I've seen a lot of other kids get involved. I know Henry Cohen ran for the Ward 3 council seat. Lyric Johnson worked on the Save Washington Met campaign, and she was really awesome. I think we could really use voices from all around DC. I know that a lot of the young people who are involved are in Ward 3 right now, because I think we are the ward where, it's most easy to get involved and we don't have as much responsibility as some of the other kids in the other parts of DC. There's a lot of representatives on the Student Board of Education, the State Board of Education. There are 3 student representatives, and one kid who I went to from Basis was on there for a while. And I know a girl, Leave, who serves on there right now, and she's awesome. And there are a lot of kids getting involved, but we could definitely do a lot more to get kids involved. I think one thing that would be amazing is to reestablish the education committee on the council, because those are some of the issues that, we are really fired up about. We really want to make sure that we have people who are really hearing the issues with the DC public school system and the charter schools in DC. I think I would have a lot of people who would go testify if there was a committee on education. I think that would be really awesome. I think we really need to refocus on education issues in DC. And if you really want to get people involved, if you make that a focus of your campaign, as Erin did, you might get a lot of young people coming to support you.
Okay, some good advice.
Yes, it is.
So this whole set of people on screen here are current and former and incoming advisory neighborhood commissioners. And we wanted to have a little mentorship component to this discussion. And Monique, as an outgoing advisory neighborhood commissioner, what advice would you give Quentin as he starts on his path?
Well, first of all, I love your enthusiasm. And you did say something that rang with me when you said that Eleanor Holmes does not have a vote, but she has a voice. And so you have a voice too. And so don't think just because you're not actually there voting that your initiatives don't count and you can't move things. Having a voice with the A.N.C is going to help you out a lot. For me, I would say to you, being a new commissioner, is knowing what's going on in your S&D. Use zoning maps to find out who's who. Look out your small businesses, reach out to them, try to get support. I love how you're using the schools already. We have a youth mayor too, so reach out to that person and see how you guys can collaborate for a few things. But and also too, one of the best things that I love about the A.N.C is the liaison list. Make sure you use it. And another thing too that I would say, show up, because a lot of times it's how people feel about you when they meet you. That's how they remember you. So if you could pick up that phone call and make a call and speak to somebody or show up in person, that really does go a long way. People remember you, especially a young kid like you. They're gonna love working with you and talking to you and telling what's going to happen and giving you advice. So just, pay attention, listen to a lot of things, meet as many people as you can. I know you got the energy, so just do all the things that you can. And believe me, being an A.N.C is so much fun, and you'll have so much experience, and you'll do the right thing. I know you will. So just listen to your neighbors, find out what they want you to do, and kind of be guided by your community, and you'll do great.
That's so wise. Monique is so wise. And I would add, in addition to the liaison list, which is really helpful in terms of knowing who to talk to at agencies, that the representatives from the mayor's office are also extremely helpful, and they really are great connectors to the agencies. And I have some other advice as well. I think that being an advisory neighborhood commissioner, it is very easy to lose yourself in the work. And so I think coming in, it's extremely important almost to do a strategic plan and to have a sense of your longer term goals so that you can come back to that and assess how you are contributing in your day-to-day and minute-to-minute activities to those longer term goals. Rayceen, what advice do you have for Quentin?
I say this to you, Quentin. Once again, I applaud you for being the youngest elected official in Washington, D.C. as the A.N.C commissioner. I applaud you. I think of everything I was doing at 18 and I was protesting and marching and all of that. So that lets me know that the fuel and the energy and the torches are definitely being passed down to young people when I see it in you. You are that light, that everything that we work for, that we know that we can't get everybody, but when we see someone like you, it's the work, it's the labor, it's the energy, the time, that we know that everything is not in vain. And I say to you, have fun. Take the moment for yourself, breathe, learn to step back, and know that you can't do everything. But to know that you're trying is the most important thing. Yes. Don't get overwhelmed. Don't allow folks to, sometimes folks will pour into you. Take a moment to step back, because sometimes they will pour into you energy that is not conducive to where you're trying to go. And sometimes you have to know it's okay to say no. Yeah. It's okay to say, well, I'm trying my best. Let me see what I can do. Let us work together. Right. And let's see how we can make a problem. And then what you could do as an A.N.C commissioner, what I did was I went through my neighborhood and got block captains for certain blocks. And then I got certain people who had a lot to say. Some folks are going to say, you're not doing enough. You're not doing this. Utilize them. Say, you know what? You are my ally. And I'd like to make you a block captain. So let's get a team of people in your block and let's all work together. So have that team report to the block captain, have the block captain sit down and work with you. And then everybody work together on how to make things collectively better for the community. And you can't do it all. But when you reach out and form a chain, it's so important. But also have fun, like Monique said, and know when that sometimes it's okay to turn off. It's okay that you can't answer phone calls that'll come at 12 and 1 in the morning. And folks will do that. They will call you at these times and you can say, you know what? I appreciate your information. I thank you so much. And I will work with our block captains, our police commander. I will work with everybody, our council member to get that done. But you know what? It's early in the morning and nobody's office is open at this time. We can't reach out to everybody, but let's get on it in a timely manner, you know, and it's okay, you know, because sometimes you want to say, what you doing calling me at 12 o'clock in the morning? You know, I am asleep. You know, and if you know that sometimes you're a little too tired, that's what answering services are for. It's okay to be a little selfish and let that voicemail come on and then screen those calls. And it's okay to screen the calls and then call people back in a timely manner and take the time to answer emails. You know, folks sometimes will send an email to a commissioner and they don't respond. And it makes them feel like, wait a minute. And you know, just take the time to respond and go through your emails in a timely manner. Don't wait 6 months or 8 months down the line. And then somebody say, oh, I sent you something 8 months ago and you just responded. Take it, you know, and if it becomes overwhelming, that's what you have to do to reach out to your allies. That's why you formed a chain to make everything better and to hear people's voices. And don't let people take over your meetings. Remember, you're in control.
Quentin, before we wrap up, can you tell us some of your favorite things in DC and in Ward 3 in your neighborhood?
Ooh, okay. In my neighborhood, well, some sort of out of the boundaries, there's this park called Turtle Park. It's renamed Friendship Park now. I loved it. I went there growing up as a kid. It's amazing. We have we have this cool Spring Valley shopping center. We have Millie's, we have Pizza Paradiso, we have a lot of nice restaurants around here. We have Cafe Vino on MacArthur Boulevard. I would love to do everything I can to support our restaurants and make sure that, you know, so there have been some issues at the Spring Valley Shopping Center lately. We had this amazing Thai food place that I would go to at the end of every like trimester with my family, and they'd be like, oh, wow, good grades, you get to go here for a treat. And we don't have it anymore. And I would love to, you know, see another restaurant move back in there. I love Fort Reno in Ward 3. It's a really amazing park. It's the highest elevation in DC, I think. The sunsets there are absolutely beautiful. DC at large, Kingman Island is pretty awesome. Georgetown, the Georgetown waterfront is great. I love Rock Creek Park. Who doesn't like Rock Creek Park? I'm a Boy Scout. We do a lot of hiking at Rock Creek Park.
No, Boy Scouts, okay.
Love it.
I'm an Eagle Scout as of a couple months ago. That was pretty awesome.
Okay. You're
Oh,
involved
wow.
with everything.
Yeah, I know you have your hands in everything. You know, we talked earlier offline about a place and we talked about Chicken Out and we just all laughed and had such great memories of Chicken Out and the food. And that's the great things when as soon as I talk to you, just let me know that you are a true Washingtonian and it just, ties that bind us. And, you know, and in gathering people, let me say this to you, music is important and arts are important. So make sure if folks are not getting that in your community, reach out and bring more of the arts in your community and let people know what's available because music and arts are so soothing to the soul.
We have amazing concerts. There's a summer concert series at Fort Reno, which I go to a lot. It's really great. Local bands, Matt at all of Matt's election parties, general night, primary night, all of that. He had some local bands play, which is really cool. There's Middle C Music in Tenleytown. I forgot to shout out the Anthem, my favorite concert venue, the best. The wharf smells like fish, which is sort of hard to get over, but once you get used to it, it's definitely worth it to go down there for a concert. It's amazing.
Yes, it is. It is.
Monique, you have the floor.
All right, so looks like we have spoke a lot of this young new A.N.C. I'm so glad that you're here with us today. So please tell our viewers how they can learn more about you and how they can keep up with you.
Yeah, sure. So my Twitter is at Q Colón Roosevelt. There will be a link tree in the video description, I think. And I'm planning to, put more links in there soon. But you can follow me on Twitter. That's mostly where I'm active. I'll probably be retweeting everything Erin says, but sometimes, occasionally, I'll say something of my own. But yeah, please, my email is at quentincolonroosevelt@gmail.com. Please reach out to me, especially if you live in the A.N.C. If you have any issues you want to talk about, if there's any way I can help you, that's sort of my goal with this job, with this volunteer role. I'm really looking forward to working with everyone all across DC and in my neighborhood. I'm really excited to get to work starting in January.
Awesome.
Viewers, you can look below in the description for links. And thank you so much for your time, Quentin. It's been a pleasure to speak with you.
Thank you so much for having me, Erin, Rayceen, Monique. Thanks for all the advice, too.
Of course.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
I am incredibly inspired that it occurs to an 18-year-old to hold public office and spend their free time in service in that way.
I just really hope that he gets more youth involved. I'm really looking forward to see what he's going to do. We have all these small pockets of youth that feel that they don't have a voice, and hopefully he can help them out. I really enjoyed speaking to Quentin today. It was really a pleasure.
I enjoyed speaking with him. I mean, he just lets me know that there's hope for tomorrow.
Yes, indeed. To those watching, please follow Team Rayceen on social media and subscribe to the Team Rayceen YouTube channel.
Rayceen, what would you like to say to our viewers?
Thank you for watching.